Good evening, my News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, police defend the continued imposition of Manchester curfew. The head of the Manchester Police has defended the continued imposition of curfews and is encouraging public figures who are reportedly organizing demonstrations against the security measures to act rationally. The latest curfew was imposed on Wednesday at 6:40 p.m. and is expected to end on Friday at 6:40 p.m. Among the areas under curfew are Porus, Trinity, Hampton, and Redbury. Deputy Superintendent Kerry Duncan, in an audio message, said the police are aware of prominent individuals fighting against the curfews. We have intelligence suggesting that there are some persons who are of influence, public figures within certain areas in Manchester, and that they are instigating demonstrations around these curfews. I just want to say these are your areas that you have interest in, and I encourage you to look at what was happening prior to these curfews and to look at the level of peace and the tranquil that the communities are now experiencing, he said on Wednesday. We are saying that as long as we feel that the areas have returned to some level of normalcy, then we have no interest in continuing these curfews. However, we won't let up on our operational activities within these spaces, he added. On Sunday, Councillor Claudia Maranta Baker of the Jamaica Labour Party Porus Division reiterated her concern that the once thriving small town of Porus have become a ghost for two reasons: curfews and the highway bypassing it. Baker has taken issue with the continued imposition of curfews in the Porus area and has called for a town hall meeting with the Manchester Police, citizens, and the business owners. The division recorded a 19% increase in major crimes last year when compared to 2023, but the parish recorded 50 murders, up from 44 the previous year. Coming off 2024, where we saw some major successes within the Manchester division, particularly within the area of crime reduction, we saw some 18% reduction in our major crimes. Unfortunately, however, we saw an uptick in our murders. This year, our strategy will be placed primarily on murder reduction, said Duncan. He listed the division's hotspots, which are being closely monitored by the police. Some areas were impacted more than others, particularly in the Porus space, land settlement, Comfort, Midday, Knockpatrick areas, and based on our analysis, we realized that we must make some special efforts in these areas in order to reduce the murders going forward for this year, he said. I just want to say to the persons in Manchester that it is not our wish at any point to restrict the movement of any member of the parish. However, where we find that we have some recalcitrants in some areas who are bent on disobeying law and order and to create mayhem and anarchy in these spaces, then we have to employ some special measures in order to arrest these incidents, he added. He is encouraging the public to support the police and the security measures imposed. One of the tools available to us are curfews, and so we as a team look at these areas strategically, analytically, to ensure that what we are doing is the right thing. I just want to say to the persons who are opposed to these curfews, look at what was happening before in these areas and look at what is happening now and ask yourselves, is it that we really want to risk losing more lives just to have parties, he said. JUTC expands its service to Clarendon. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company has revived its service in Clarendon while adding a new route between Maypen and the Spanish town St. Catherine. The state-run bus company says that this is part of efforts to provide a public transportation service outside the Kingston Metropolitan Transport Region. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says plans are also in place to add a JUTC route from Spanish Town to Linstead St. Catherine. Mr. Vaz says the latest move is to provide relief to residents amid a suspension of the railway service between Bogwalk and the Spanish Town.
But the fact is that we have refurbished quite a number of buses, and we have also retrofitted with new parts some of the bus stock while introducing over 200 buses over the last 2 years. So as far as that is concerned, that will give us a lot of additional resources in terms of buses to be able to treat with these routes while not sacrificing the efficiency on the existing routes of the KTMR. So, quick answer is that we are mindful that we don't want to spread ourselves too thin, but we also understand the necessity to expand the routes for the convenience and efficiency of the commuters, not only in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine, but across the country.
Police say robbery behind the shooting of 3 men near St. Catherine School. The St. Catherine North Police say robbery appears to have been the motive behind the shooting of 3 men in the vicinity of Tatius Golding High School last Friday. The Ministry of Education, in a press release on Saturday, expressed a grave concern about the shooting incident near the school, which later spilled over onto the campus. The ministry said that students were promptly gathered in a central location for debriefing and emotional support before an early dismissal was arranged. Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, head of the St. Catherine North Police Division, said that the men were ambushed along the main road leading to the school. Superintendent Nicholson said the investigation is progressing and a person of interest in the case will be named soon.
Sometime during this week, we'll be telling the nation we will be providing a person of interest, which we have identified so far. Also, at this moment, we have a team at the school, along with educators, members of the Ministry of Education there. They are actually providing reassurance and counseling for students. Even though the incident did not happen at the school, we know the school, the proximity to where the incident happened, will have some effect on the school, and so a team is there reassuring persons, the school community and the community at large. We will be pursuing these persons whether or not they are in St. Catherine North. We will be pursuing them, and wherever the chips fall, it will fall, and we will be bringing them to justice. This is the second incident in the start of the year that robbery led to a major incident. The person who was killed in the Bogwalk space, the information is that he had a large sum of cash as well, and persons knew and they went for it, and in the process he got killed. That's the preliminary information that we have. So we appeal to persons, if you have large sums of money, of cash, do not go broadcasting it. Use smart means to transport it and take it to the bank and reduce the likelihood of being targeted as much as practicable.
Comes on the probe 12 fatal shootings in first 15 days of the year. A total of 12 people were shot and killed by local law enforcement officers in the first 15 days of the new year. The Independent Commission of Investigation, in a release, said last year, for the entire month of January, a total of 13 fatal shootings were reported. Indicom said the least set of shootings resulted in 4 people being killed over a 2-day period, January 14 and 15, 2025. These latest incidents increased the total to 12 persons who have been fatally shot by the security forces so far this year, the release from Indicom reported. Comparatively, in 2023, 13 persons were fatally shot during the month of January. Indicom, in a release, stated that on January 14, the Commission commenced investigations into fatal shooting incidents in Rollington Town, Kingston and Portmore, St. Catherine, while on January 15, investigators probed the incidents which occurred along Mountain View in Kingston and Hopewell in Hanover. In each of the 4 incidents, 1 man was fatally shot and there was an alleged recovery of a firearm. The deceased men have been identified as Akeem Chance, Alex Madden, 24 years old, Paul Casanova, 38 years old, and Naron Cameron, 21 years old, respectively. All 4 fatal shooting incidents were reported to Indicom as planned targeted operations, of which one of the incidents was a joint police and military operation. Indicom, in the release, said it notes the significant increase in planned operations where fatalities are occurring. All such operations involve organization, preparation, and scheduling. A loss of life by agents of the state requires objective records of the interactions. In the interest of accountability and transparency, it requires every effort to be made for security force personnel to be equipped with body-worn cameras. All incident scenes were examined and the evidential material recovered, processed and packaged. The hands of the deceased men were all swabbed for gunshot residue. The concerned officers provided initial accounts and were served with Section 21 notices pursuant to the Independent Commission of Investigations Act 2010 to submit statements and attend interviews. Planned operation interviews have also been scheduled with the operation team leaders. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.